Shalom, shalom, everyone. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, YHWH'S Heavenly Scroll Unleashed. Today, we are going into the next story of the Heavenly Scroll, Aries the Lamb, the 8th story of the Heavenly Scroll. Tale Lamb, or Aries Ram. The ancient image of Tale, or Aries, is a horned lamb or ram, peacefully resting with one foreleg over the band of Pisces, resting over Cetus. Aries faces towards the fish, the redeemed. Also known as Al-Hamal, Arabic for the sheep, gentle and merciful, and, as with many languages, confirm the continuity of the name of this constellation, including the ancients who called it Bara Zigar. Bar equals altar, Zigar equals making right. The ancient star names of Aries are El Natik, Arabic for the wounded, slain. Al-Sheratan, Arabic for the bruised, the wounded. Mesartim, Hebrew for the bound. There's many scriptures that pictures Messiah, YHWH'S, as the Lamb. Worthy is the Lamb who was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and esteem and blessing. Revelation 5:12. Now when he had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each having a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the petitions of the saints. And they sang a new song, saying, You are worthy to take the scroll and to open its seals, for you were slain and have redeemed us to Yahweh by your blood, out of every tribe and tongue and people and nation, and have made us kings and priests to our Elohim, and we shall reign on the earth. Revelation 5:8-10. In Revelation chapter 17, it reveals a war between the Lamb and the beast. The beast that existed once but exists no longer is an 8th king, but really belongs to the 7 and is headed for destruction. The 10 horns that you saw represent 10 kings who have not yet been crowned. They will receive royal authority along with the beast for 1 hour. They are of one mind and will give their power and authority to the beast. They will fight with the Lamb, but the Lamb will conquer them, for he is Master of masters and King of kings, and those with him are called, chosen, and faithful. Revelation 17:11-14. When King YHWH'S returns in his mothership, the world leaders of this world are all going to unite to try to fight against King YHWH'S and those with him, his 144,000 elite warriors, also in their spaceships. President Ronald Reagan, the 40th president, always talks about this so-called alien invasion scenario in his speeches. Please listen to this clip closely.
I couldn't help at one point in our discussions privately with General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep, in my frustration sometimes, actually, if you count some of the things going on in smaller countries and all, there have been about 114 wars since World War II. But I've often wondered, what if all of us in the world discovered that we were threatened by an outer power from outer space, from another planet? Wouldn't we all of a sudden find that we didn't have any differences between us at all? We were all human beings, citizens of the world, and wouldn't we come together to fight that particular threat?
This idea also comes from the movie Independence Day and many other alien movies. These movies are programming people to believe when King Messiah YHWH'S returns to Earth in his mothership that it's going to be an alien invasion.
Aren't you coming, David? No, I gotta see it.
This is the deception the enemy wants people to believe. That's why lately there's much UFO files being released to the public now, because we are getting closer to King YHWH'S return, and we have this movie Disclosure Day coming out soon in June. The propaganda is being pushed more and more. Please don't believe the enemy's lies. The earliest images of Aries also included a triangle over the head of Aries, or Tale. It was called Cilicia by the Hebrews, exalted or chief. In Arabic, Ras al-Talita, head of the triangle. In Greek, it was called deltoton, high, and this word in Arabic means lifted up. Another interesting thing I want to point out is that Aries the lamb also connects with the feast of Passover, which was one of Yahweh's feasts day. All Hebrew Jacobites, men, or any male foreigners who wanted to partake in the Passover feast day had to be circumcised. All the males in the household were required by Yahweh that men must be circumcised to observe in his Passover. A foreigner residing among you who wants to celebrate the Yahweh Passover must have all the males in his household circumcised. Then he may take part like one born in the land. No uncircumcised male may eat it. The same law applies both to the native born and to the foreigner residing among you. Exodus 12:48-49. Joshua had to circumcise the men of the next generation in the wilderness that wasn't circumcised before the feast of Passover came around that time. At that time, Yahweh said to Joshua, "Make flint knives and circumcise the Jacobites again." So Joshua made flint knives and circumcised the Jacobites at Gibeath Haraloth. Now this is why he did so. All those who came out of Egypt, all the men of military age, died in the wilderness on the way after leaving Egypt. All the people that came out had been circumcised, but all the people born in the wilderness during the journey from Egypt had not. Joshua 5:2-6.
This everlasting law of circumcision is required for salvation, and it is an everlasting covenant that all men in covenant or wanting to come in covenant must adhere to. Then Yahweh said to Abraham, "As for you, you must keep my covenant, you and your descendants after you for the generations to come. This is my covenant with you and your descendants after you, the covenant you are to keep. Every male among you shall be circumcised. You are to undergo circumcision, and it will be the sign of the covenant between me and you. For the generations to come, every male among you who is 8 days old must be circumcised, including those born in your household or bought with money from a foreigner, those who are not your offspring. Whether born in your household or bought with your money, they must be circumcised. My covenant in your flesh is to be an everlasting covenant. Any uncircumcised male who has not been circumcised in the flesh will be cut off from his people. He has broken my covenant." Genesis 17:9-14. Even our Messiah, YHWH'S, was circumcised at 8 days old. On the 8th day, when it was time to circumcise the child, he was named YHWH'S, the name the angel had given him before he was conceived. Luke 2:21. The 8th story of the heavenly scroll is Aries, and the number 8 connects with the everlasting law of circumcision. This proves more this law written in the heavenly scroll, and it is required for all men in covenant to adhere to. Beware of people out there who teach that circumcision of the flesh is not required, but only of the heart. That's a lie from the devil, the false apostle Paul, who teaches against Yahweh. Everlasting law of circumcision. This is what sovereign Yahweh says: "No foreigner uncircumcised in heart and flesh is to enter my temple, not even the foreigners who live among the Jacobites." Ezekiel 44:9. This scripture proves that it's about both circumcision in the heart and flesh goes together, not one without the other. And now, Jacob, what does Yahweh your Elohim require of you, but to fear Yahweh your Elohim, to walk in all his ways, to love him, to serve Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul, and to keep the commandments and statutes of Yahweh, which I am commanding you today for your good. Behold, to Yahweh your Elohim everything in heaven belongs, and the heaven of heavens, the earth with all that is in it. Yet Yahweh set his heart in love on your fathers, and chose their offspring after them, you above all peoples, as you are to this day. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no longer stubborn. For Yahweh your Elohim is Elohim of Elohims, and King of kings, the great, the mighty, and the awesome Elohim, who is not partial and takes no bribe. Deuteronomy 10:12-17. On the 8th day the boy is to be circumcised. Leviticus 12:3. Now let's begin with the decans of Aries. The first decan of Aries is Cassiopeia.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give him esteem, for the wedding feast of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready.
The ancient image of Cassiopeia is a woman sitting on a throne with her hands above her head. Her right arm holds straps of her gown as if dressing, while the left holds high, a victory branch. She appears to be dressing herself for her wedding, the marriage of the bride. The ancients called her Daughter of Splendor. Certain times throughout the year, this constellation resembles a W or a M. Ancient star names of Cassiopeia are Is Shadar, Hebrew, the freed, on the throne, Kaf, Hebrew, the branch, Cassiopeia, Hebrew for the enthroned and beautiful. Many people interpret this constellation as representing the church as the bride, or they interpret the Hebrew Jacobites are the bride of Messiah YHWH'S. But no, this is not the case. In my previous video, we discussed Messiah YHWH'S bride, whose name is Hawa. In the constellation Andromeda, it reveals her in a coma. These fairy tales we watch or read about are revealed in the heavenly scroll and reveal some nuggets of truth. In this constellation, Cassiopeia Queen Hawa is up and on her throne, preparing for a great event where she will be reunited with her bridegroom, King YHWH. This is why in Revelation 19:7-9 it says this: "Let us rejoice and be glad and give him esteem, for the wedding of the Lamb has come, and his bride has made herself ready. Fine linen, bright and clean, was given to her to wear." Then the angel said to me, "Write this:
Blessed are those who are invited to the wedding feast of the Lamb."
And he added, "These are the true words of YHWH." Revelation 19:7-9.
At a wedding feast, there is always a bride and a bridegroom, and guests who are invited. This, in turn, is the same way. Plus, scriptures reveal that Messiah YHWH has a bride. Then one of the 7 angels who had the 7 bowls filled with the 7 last plagues came to me and talked with me, saying, "Come, I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife." Revelation 21:9. And the Spirit and the bride say, "Come, and let him that heareth say, Come, and let him that is athirst come, and whosoever will, let him take the water of life freely." Revelation 22:17. YHWH answered, "How can the guests of the bridegroom mourn while he is with them? The time will come when the bridegroom will be taken from them. Then they will fast." Matthew 9:15. Apostle John actually sees a vision of someone on a throne with a beautiful emerald rainbow around the throne. He saw a vision of Queen Hawa on her throne, just as the constellation Cassiopeia reveals. "At once I was caught up in spirit. A throne was there in heaven, and on the throne sat one whose appearance sparkled like jasper and carnelian. Around the throne was a halo as brilliant as an emerald." Revelation 4:2-3. This vision John saw was Queen Hawa on her throne, which connects directly to Cassiopeia, and the green emerald is describing the northern lights, also known as Aurora Borealis. Queen Hawa's beauty is like no other. She is truly one of a kind. No one can be compared to her. Very, very special in her own way. She has beautiful purple eyes, beautiful amber-colored hair, and her skin color is beautiful black skin that's black as the night. In the heavenly scroll, the moon represents her as the bride, and the sun represents Messiah YHWH as the bridegroom, as Psalm 19 states. "The heavens declare the esteem of Yahweh, the skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech, night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the ends of the world. In the heavens, Yahweh has pitched a tent for the sun. It is like a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, like a champion rejoicing to run his course." Psalm 19, 1-5. Throughout the book of Scripture, she is revealed like one of many examples, is through in the tabernacle which had the color red and purple for the curtains. "Moreover, you shall make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine woven linen, and blue, purple, and scarlet thread. With artistic designs of cherubim you shall weave them." Exodus 26:1. King YHWH has red eyes, as is revealed in Revelation 1:14-15, and she has purple eyes. This is why in my previous video I told you take notice in clip I showed you from the show Once Upon a Time that showed in the scene the 2 dwarfs wearing a purple and red hat.
Clearly the enemy knows this truth about King YHWH'S and his bride, Queen Hawa. King YHWH'S has revealed his love for his bride through the nebula in Cassiopeia called Heart Nebula and Soul Nebula. The second decan of Aries is Cetus, the sea monster. The ancient image of Cetus is an ugly, horned sea monster. He is a natural enemy of the fish, or the fish people. His figure would devour the fish if he were not restrained by the bands of Pisces under the forearm of the lamb. The bands also are on the back of the neck of Cetus. Ancient stars. On the nose is Menkar, Hebrew, the bound or chained enemy. This connects with the enemy Satan, the devil, being bounded for 1,000 years in the abyss. Then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, having the key to the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. He laid hold of the dragon, that serpent of old, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years. And he cast him into the bottomless pit, and shut him up, and set a seal on him, so that he should deceive the nations no more till the 1,000 years were finished. But after these things, he must be released for a little while. Revelation 21-4. Mira, the neck, the rebel. On the tail is Diphda, Hebrew, the overthrown. The star Baton Kaitos on the belly, Arabic, the belly of the whale. The interesting thing about this star Mira is that it's a variable star that undergoes periodic changes in brightness every 332 days. In Strong's Concordance, 332 means to close up, bind, to shut up. This connects directly to Revelation 20, with the enemy being bound for 1,000 years in the abyss. There's also a necklace asterism in the constellation Cetus, often called Al-Nithim, meaning the necklace around the neck of Cetus can be interpreted as the great chain that binds Satan in the abyss.
The third and final decan of Aries the Lamb is Perseus. The ancient image of Perseus is a mighty warrior, coming in victory and esteem, wearing a helmet and wielding a sword in his lifted hand, and the head of the enemy in the right hand, where the star Rosh Satan is, head of the adversary, or head of Satan. In Greek mythology, this refers to Medusa. Wings on his heels symbolize supernatural speed. Constellation is also called Peretz, the breaker. This constellation represents YHWH'S, who will rescue his bride queen Hawa from her sleeping curse by true love kiss. The heavenly scroll reveal this most beautiful love story ever in the entire universe. I'm so ready and excited when they both be together. The ancient stars of Perseus are Mirfax, he who helps, Athik, he who breaks, Al-Ganib, he who carries away. Constellation is also called Peretz in the breaker. YHWH'S, your Elohim in your midst, the mighty one, will save. He will rejoice over you with gladness. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. And he, YHWH'S, took the damsel by the hand, and said unto her, Talitha Kumi, which is, being interpreted, Damsel, I say unto thee, arise. And straightway the damsel arose, and walked, for she was of the age of 12 years, and they were astonished with great astonishment. When Queen Hawa opens her eyes, Queen Hawa and King YHWH'S will unleash judgment on their enemies on this earth, for they prevented them from consummating their marriage. People who are invited to King YHWH'S and Queen Hawa wedding feast will have the honor to see them together and celebrate their reunion together. I really hope the viewer enjoyed this video and learned the interesting things that's revealed in the heavenly scroll that reveals King YHWH'S bride, Queen Hawa. Please stay tuned as we continue on this story of the Mazzaroth together. Until next time, Shalom.